Welcome to the update from Prosperity Point West Island Projects for the work done in June of 2020. This month, Benton & Sons made substantial progress on the installation of the Trueline wall. Shown here, the crew is jetting out dirt and sand for the installation of the next Trueline panel. Notice the man working in the water. He is using a high-pressure stream of water to remove enough dirt and sand to start a pilot hole. This next sequence is setting up and driving each panel assembly. There are 420 to 430 panels around the circumference of the island. Each of the 16-foot long panels are driven to the full design depth or until they hit resistance, which is caused by subsurface rock. The operator is using the bucket to drive the panel into the ground a few feet initially, then the panel is checked to see if it is straight enough. When driving the panels, it is crucial that the panel is driven straight and level. This sequence shows the crew checking for level and making adjustments until it is acceptable. Not satisfied, the panel is lifted back out until some adjustments are made by the person in the water. The panel is being redriven to see if the adjustments were sufficient. Checking again for levelness and straightness. Still not within tolerance, the panel is removed again. With the use of the plank, they will use leverage to improve the positioning at the bottom of the panel. Checking again with a level, the panel is now within tolerance and ready to be driven into the ground. A pneumatic driver, the yellow device, is placed onto the panel. It will be used to drive the panel to its final depth. A pneumatic driver uses compressed air to cause the driving action. It's similar to a jackhammer, but with less impact. The hoe handles the pneumatic driver with its bucket until it gets to a height where a person can safely finish the driving process. Here is another view of the panel being driven with the bucket. The pneumatic driver is being placed onto the panel to drive the panel to its final penetration. Notice how the first few feet are driven quickly, then as resistance increases, the rate will slow down. This sweep shows about half of the island's panels cut to their final height. The white panel at the end of this section was installed to help with a sharp curve in the wall and has been replaced with one of matching color. Now we're moving on to the next phase of the wall installation. Once all of the panels are installed, the dirt and sand they were driven into must be evacuated. There are several feet of this loose material inside each panel assembly. In order for the panel to be filled with concrete as it is engineered, this material must be removed. This process involves jetting and evacuating that material. This occurs using high pressure water, compressed air, and a discharge hose. From this view, you can see the Benton employee using the plank to check the depth to make sure the material has been removed down to the required depth. Once the panel assembly is finished, the operator moves on to the next panel. From this view, you will notice the water pouring out near the person's knees. That is the secondary evacuation path for the material. It serves as a good visual check for how much material is being removed. When it runs cleaner, there is less material coming out. Further down the panels, you will see the end of the discharge hose and water pulsating out of it. This is the main evacuation of the materials. Once all of the panels have been evacuated, the installation of rebar begins. Each panel has two 20-foot long rebars installed. The rebar has two purposes. First purpose is to pin the bottom of the wall to the rock beneath it. This helps ensure that the bottom of the wall won't be pushed out due to the force of the soil and hydraulic pressure from the island. The second purpose is to reinforce the concrete that will be poured into each panel. On the left, they are putting two rebars into each panel. On the right, they are jackhammering the rebar down to full depth. This sequence shows the entire process of jackhammering a rebar into place. You will notice a few places where it looks like the rebar has stopped, but continued jackhammering breaks through the rock below so the rebar can be driven to the desired depth. There are approximately 850 rebars installed in the wall. Not all of the operations are powered by machine. The barge is being moved around the island by the Benton employees. The barge is anchored down by dropping the vertical pipe, or spuds, into the pond bottom.